Sweet.
We are now actually live. Hello, everybody. All right, I'm gonna tweet too. I'm gonna brewski too. I'm gonna skeet.
You're gonna have a brewski?
I'm gonna blue ski and I'm gonna skeet and then I'm gonna have a brewski.
Oh. Are you gonna? This is code where you're not actually having a beer.
Blue sky. I call it blue ski.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I noticed there's been an uptake in blue skying very recently.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get on this wave.
If I have one more person who explains to me why it's a good thing that they fired the Prince of Persia team, I might be joining you.
Oh God.
Or explain to me that Metroidvanias are niche again. Huh?
No, fucking just. I hate you people.
Yeah.
If you're in Blue Sky, you can take that thing and you can get you like a list of all.
Yeah, Christian did some starter packs. Very neat. Thanks for doing that, Christian. Okay. All right, that's good. That's a euphemism if I've ever heard one. All right. Hey, Nicky's on the real new social platform, which is Doc.
Nikki, are you the Nikki? You do that giant bomb Twitter thing. Make it apologize to me, please.
It's gonna be a long episode. Let's see.
Have to be.
What would I need to do there? I need to test the audio. Let's see here. Well, you know what? Let's just see if it's going the right bus first. Let's try something novel. Looks like it is. All right, now let's see you.
Hey, you guys hear me?
You hear that, Mike?
Cheering now.
I do hear Wario.
Okay, fantastic.
What was that?
That was SimCity 3000, and I just
Hell
wanted
yeah.
to play again because I think Christian might be another second, so get the music going. Yeah, Pokimane is hanging out with Bernie, and then apparently she explained to Mark Hamill what a VTuber is. You know,
See,
that's just where we're at.
Mark Hamill should know.
I see.
Yeah, Mark Hamill should
A Jedi
absolutely
should know better.
should have encountered a couple of VTubers in his time. All right, so that's that.
Like a Christopher Waltz. No, what's his name? The
Christoph Waltz?
Christoph Waltz. Yeah,
Is he a VTuber or is he just German?
No, he got an interview by Kizuna Ai, I think, or was it the?
I'm gonna assume that's a VTuber.
Yeah, that's a VTuber, like the biggest VTuber. When he did Alita Battle Angel, then what they went.
Oh, really?
He got
That's right. That's right. He is an Alita Battle Angel. Okay. I
All right.
think we should start this show.
It's like a movie.
Yeah, I like it. It's fine. It's no live action shit. What's the one with the one that everyone hates? Christian, the live action anime.
Avatar?
Avatar.
No, that one's a very good one, guys. Yes, that everyone does hate that.
Evolution.
No, don't worry about it. I'll remember in the middle of the show and I'll just scream.
All
it.
right, that sounds good too.
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
No, Flux?
No, people are gonna guess, and eventually they'll get there. It'll be like the seventh one.
Is it the one with
They're Ghost in the Shell. Thank you, Dr. Ryan.
I was about to say the one. What's her face?
Yes, I also couldn't think of her name. Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
The reason people couldn't guess is like even they can't comprehend that I would joke that that's a good movie.
Yeah.
She's an Asian woman.
Yeah, of course, the most Asian woman, Scarlett Johansson. All right, I am ready. Are you boys ready?
Ready.
All right. So actually, by that I mean let me get the doc open.
Means you're not ready.
Shut up. All right, in 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start
In
cheering now.
it's too quiet. In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now. Let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof, woof. Hi, I'm McMinotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, Nintendo's making an MMO. Nintendo MMO.
Oh, Jesus.
What is Sakurai's next game? And Prince of Persia: The Lost Crowns team disbanded. But first, Jeff Grubb, here's your chance. Just do it now and get it over with.
I mean, do you even care anymore?
Oh, yeah. I had to take an angry nap. I was like, oh, I'm so mad. I got to take a nap. So for people who don't know, on the Bombcast today, because I couldn't make it. First off, I couldn't make it because of stupid work meetings, so I was upset. So first they lie about that. First they just like, oh, he just couldn't beat Dan and just slept in. Then you all pretended that Dan's beating me.
He is beating, or you are beating him, right? Like that's just fact.
Yes. Oh, he hasn't even cracked sub 29. He's terrible.
Right.
He's awful at it. He's the worst Astrobot player I know. And, I expect it from him, but then for you and Sean and even Jan, even sweet Jan, to just go along with it, the lies. Me wasting most of my week to be in on a fun treat with my friends, trying to beat this level and get good times and encourage each other, be there for each other, and to have my accomplishments just dismissed and buried and mocked like this. I didn't appreciate it. So and I'm not gonna play Astrobot anymore. I'm not gonna be a party to any more of these competitions until I get an apology of some kind that includes the invitational. So please, Jeff, would you do you have anything you would like to say right now?
Okay.
Please just say you're sorry. I want to play more.
Mike, I'm sorry. He made us.
All right, great.
He made us a deal before we started that he wouldn't pretend they had a better score than any of us. Just you. And I'm like, all right, that sounds good. And that's fine.
You can't get away with it when you're actually there to just all say, no, that's not true. Not that he really got away with it.
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay, that seems fair. I don't know. I honestly don't even know what's happening down there in that part of the leaderboard. So, no, okay. It was, he did that. I'm like, okay, yeah, that'll annoy Mike. And I'm like, as it's happening, I'm like, oh, wow, this is really going to annoy Mike. Actually,
me.
As soon as it started happening, I'm like, oh, this is going to be way worse than I thought it was. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was like, how was it? I was like, seriously, like, this crossed the line. I don't know why it crossed the line.
What? You don't even know what line we're talking about? Yeah.
I was like, this is a problem. This isn't right. I was like, I gotta do something.
Just get on your alt accounts, go to Reddit, and say he's bullying you again. There you go.
But it turns out he doesn't care.
Yeah, sure.
Good. I can play Astrobot again. Thank God. Because I was watching Jesse Vitelli do it, and I'm like, he's just constantly getting like that time better than me. And I'm like, I know I could do an improvement here. I don't know if I can beat you. You have a very good time now, but I could definitely improve my PB.
Yeah, I think it's everything just has to click on the same run, right? And then you do get to the point where this morning, maybe it was last night. Maybe it was this morning. I can't keep track anymore. Where I was doing my runs and I was trying to beat Jesse the last time that I beat him, and I was finally. It took like an hour and a half to get everything working. Where I was like, okay, now the run feels good. That ramp can go to hell. The timing on that ramp is so weird. Most of the time, like first hour is just trying to get the timing down on the ramp so I can do 6 boosts. But once I get it down, it's pretty good. And I had 2 runs in a row where it was like 28.58 and then 28.55. And it was like, oh my God, that's like right back to back. I'm getting my PBs. So I'm in the zone. So I'm like, I'm just going to keep pushing. And then that's eventually when I got the 28.35. And when I'm doing that, I'm like, oh, and that felt like I could go even faster. I felt like I know where I made some mistakes. So you just got to get it all to click together on one thing. There's a couple of tricks where the buffering of inputs really made a difference at the beginning. Yeah,
I'm not really buffering, and
I'm doing it just a couple times. Yes.
That seemed good because something that like I was pretty bad at, and only now I'm feeling more comfortable with is the 5 boosts on that one kind of ramp.
Yeah.
I got a little discouraged because like I was doing pretty good. There was a time when I was beating you, and then you got it back, and that was fine. But then I hit a wall where I just like wasn't improving and was kind of even doing worse for a bit.
That's what happened to me.
I got a tweet from the official Giant Bomb Twitter account. It says, "We're sorry. Grubb, Dan, Jan, and Sean." Wow, they even got Dan to agree to this. Fantastic. Thank you, Dan, for apologizing. That was very big of you in admitting that I am, in fact, better than you in Astrobot. Really appreciate it, Dan. You're a good guy.
Well, I do want you to come back and play, especially for the Invitational this week for the new level. That would be real sad. Level. So let's make it happen. New
level. I hope it's not the monkey.
Yeah, there's no chance that they don't have the accumulated score, right? They're going to have a cumulative thing.
They'll probably do that again when it's all there and all together. I'm just, part of me is like, okay, I'm excited to see the other puzzles, but boy, that dog jetpack seems like it was kind of made for speed running. The horizontal one. So
really
I'm kind of like, ooh, this level hit pretty well. This is a very good speed run level. I hope they keep it up, and I'm sure they will. But this is a Nintendo podcast, sir. But before we get to all that, thank you to everybody who's joining us, everybody live. Thank you for super chats. We will read those and answer those during the show. So if you want to ask us anything or just say something, send a super chat during the show. If you want to support us otherwise, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GameMess. Gets you access to our special Discord channels where you can participate in things like the weekly conversations we have here with our community, which is sometimes the mailbag, sometimes it's a topic. The topic today is we asked everybody, what do you want from a Nintendo MMO? And speaking of that, Jeff, it seems like that's what we're getting, and that's what this Switch NSO
I just downloaded it.
Online test is about.
Yep.
This is kind of a summary here from Mike Straw at Insider Gaming. A user by the name of Sky began posting the information on Blue Sky on Monday morning.
Bluesky.
Bluesky. Information found includes the playtest codename of Rockstock, as well as a list of what appears to be mechs or vehicles and minigames. Also shown to be developed by Nintendo EPD4, which is the development group responsible for games such as 1-2-Switch, Ring Fit Adventure, Switch Sports, and more. Other things discovered were the song files from the playtest, text that would fit with a character creator, such as setting skin tone or body shape, even files to suggest both PvE and PvP within the game. See with some screenshots floating around. So the first thing that struck me about this, Jeff, was after this happened, and like a lot of headlines and people's reactions, like, "Oh, I knew it would be a letdown." I'm like, "What?
What is it? This is crazy." Yeah,
it's like, "Oh, it's not a bunch of GameCube emulators." Like, I know.
Right.
And I love the GameCube.
Yeah, I got Dolphin on everything. So one, I'm already set. Two, I love GameCube. Three, this is. What are you talking about? This is so weird. It's EPD4, Nintendo Entertainment Planning Division 4, which did Labo. They did Ring Fit. No, they did Game Builder Garage.
I think they did Ring Fit Adventure also, though. Yeah.
Yeah. They might have.
They 1-2-Switch.
Yes, they're the weird studio, and this is
not everybody 1-2-Switch. Just 1-2-Switch.
This might be the weirdest thing yet. So an MMO, in that there's a lot of people playing online on a server. The implication maybe that all 10,000 people might be on the same server that signed up for this test. You are taking over a planetary grid, one cell at a time, by placing beacons. The higher you place the beacons, the more of an effect they have. So I guess maybe part of the gameplay, I'm guessing, is you build up vertically so that you can build your beacon up, or at least place it up high. I don't know.
Is it a Strand game?
It sounds like a Strand game. It sounds like a Peter Molyneux game. It sounds like a 64DD game. It sounds like Doshi the Giant's going to pop out of the fucking wall. It sounds so weird. And then there's the dev core side, which is the hub where you upgrade your character and hang out with people. And the characters are running around. We saw the characters in that screenshot, and they look like they're from Tale of the Sun. It's
that's exactly what I saw.
It's what it's giving.
It's Tale of the Sun.
It's so weird, and I'm really excited. Now, it could suck. Like, it could really suck. But I think at the very least, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I think the idea of Nintendo doing a weird MMO, and of course, it's classic Nintendo that in the year of our Lord 2024,
right?
They're finally like, we should try to make an MMO.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, World of Warcraft was in 2004, but yeah, it's time. Let's see what Nintendo's weird approach to it is. It also makes sense. Nintendo, likes to make games for kids, and a lot of kids, what games are they playing? Roblox, Fortnite, Minecraft, games that, if not entirely MMOs, pretty MMO adjacent. So yeah, for Nintendo to do something that's a big online connected thing like that, instead of games that sort of have half-assed online things like an Animal Crossing, that's exciting. Also interesting that doesn't seem to be tied to an IP. I don't know, maybe that dressing's coming later, but I kind of like the idea of it being some weird new kind of caveman thing.
Yeah, the characters look really kind of odd. I mean, God, I'm so with you when you're like, people are like, this is a disappointment. And then I never saw the pictures originally when I first did the story on Game Mess Mornings. And the story I read from Kotaku, they're like, the characters look terrible. And then I went to go look, I'm like, this looks awesome. This looks so weird. This is awesome. These little round fuckers. I am so on board for everything that's happening in these images. So yeah, I mean, I maybe that stuff does come later. I get the feeling that no, EPD4 is like, no, we do the weird stuff. We make Labo. It's not Mario Cardboard. We make Ring Fit Adventure. It's not Mario Adventure. It's not Zelda Get Fit. You know, it's a Game Builder Garage. It's not Learn to Make Games with Luigi. It's a weird new thing, and I think this is going to be another thing in that lineage. And I welcome it. I think that there could be a lot of weird, fun like streams with this. I hope. I mean, if it is like 50% an online living social network, Nintendo's Hangout, PlayStation Home style thing.
Nintendo's version of PlayStation Home.
Yes, and then 50% an online MMO game. Sure. Yeah, let's see what you can do with this, Nintendo.
Yeah, I think it's very exciting. You're in this test, so you're going to be able to play it pretty soon and let us know what you think of it, which I'm happy. I'm sad I'm not in the test, but I'm glad you're going to be there to report from the scene.
Yeah, I'm gonna be checking it out first thing I get the chance. Like I said, I just downloaded it tonight. I was in there as Nintendo playtest. I had to go. I redeemed the code online. I had to go see if I could find it on the Switch, wherever that stuff goes. Found it though. It's literally just finished downloading on the system. So when this thing goes live, I think tomorrow evening, I think is when it will go live. If not, then definitely on Thursday, it'll be live. I will try it out first thing. And they're like, please don't talk about this yet. So we'll see like when I could say what, but if everyone's out there talking about it, I'm not going to hesitate. So we'll see.
And then there's kind of like that Switch 2 factor. When we first heard about this, everyone's like, wow, what is this thing that they want to test for the Switch 2? And I'm sure there's going to be a Switch 2 version of whatever this is, especially for an MMO that kind of needs a lot of players. I think it's pretty likely, and they're already testing it on the Switch, so yeah, there will be a OG Switch version.
Oh
of
yeah,
this game, right?
I think a Switch version. I think it could like launch with the Switch 2, and it's available on everything. Yeah, I could see that being the case. You run a test now, you go back and you fix a few things. I think that's something that Japanese developers have been doing more and more of recently. I think that they're going to welcome the feedback, and by the time the Switch 2 is ready to go in April, May, fall, whatever, we actually finally get this thing a full-fledged launch. And I wonder what the sort of business model is. Is it a game that just comes with Nintendo Switch Online? Probably, right? Like they probably just include, because you need to be online, you need to pay online to play it. But once you have that, you just have it, and then maybe there's microtransactions. Shit, I really don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting because you need the expansion pack, and maybe the conversion to expansion pack hasn't been amazing. Maybe Game Boy Advance and N64 games isn't exactly enticing to the children, at least, right?
Right, sure, maybe.
But yeah, so something like this, maybe that gets them going a bit more. So it'll be interesting to see. Next thing here, Super Smash Bros. Created started production on his next game in 2022. This is from Tom Ivan at VGC. Masahiro Sakurai teased the project in the final episode of his YouTube series, Creating Games. This is a quote from him now. It was around July of 2021. I was busy working on the DLC for Smash Bros. Ultimate. To be precise, I was putting together the video for Mr. Sakurai Presents Kazuya. Sora was in development too, of course. By Sora, I mean the fighter, not the company that you may have heard of. While I was busy working on those tasks, I received a request to write a game proposal, which I finished at lightning speed. I'm sorry I can't share more about this project, but assuming we're able to get it made, it should be announced sooner or later. Jeff, there's a part of me that's always just like, oh, the next game's going to be Smash Brothers, but the way he talks about it, like, oh, assuming it gets greenlit, right? And, Sakurai could be coy like that. He's been coy a lot of times before.
Yes.
But, I mean, do you think this is just the next Smash Bros? Or do you think there's something coming out between those Smash releases from him?
I think that if they're asking them to make present a game plan, a design doc, and all that stuff. It could be something else. There is almost certainly a new Smash something in the planning stages, and
there has to be. Smash Bros. Ultimate sold 35 million copies. Right there's going to be a Smash Brothers for the Switch too.
And Sakurai, as much as it is maybe time for him to pass the torch, he will be involved in that to some degree, because I think he will want to actively pass the torch. I think he will want to be there, because I think what he said about we've talked about this on this show, I think, where he said with Smash Brothers Ultimate, he was working so much in the trenches on that game, he did not take the time to do the thing where he is training up the next generation of people to take over the responsibilities that he has when he's making one of these Smash Brothers games. So him having that conversation and reflecting on that and knowing he did not do that, I think that, he is probably going to be primed to do that for the next time that they produce a Smash, which again is probably happening right now. And I think that just sort of naturally happens. And then alongside that, kind of forcing himself to get off the reins a little bit, he is going to have this other project that he is really making. And then, he's overseeing Smash at the same time. At any moment, Smash could just overtake his life again, because that's what always happens. But I do think that this project that he's talking about in this video is something other than Smash.
Now, do you think it's just Kid Icarus again, or maybe something different?
It could be Kid Icarus. It could be something new. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a new Kid Icarus.
All right, so we'll see what that is, hopefully sooner rather than later. Then Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown team disbanded after critically lauded platformer fails to meet expectations. This is from Rebecca Valentine at IGN. The team behind Prince of Persia Lost Crown has been disbanded, according to a report from the French media outlet Origami. The video from Origami also states that the game's fate was effectively decided just a few weeks after its release.
That's crazy.
The core game development team reportedly fought to get a sequel or at least more expansions beyond the first, but Ubisoft allegedly needed more help on other projects that had better sales potential. Per the report, The Lost Crown did not meet Ubisoft's sales expectations, and executives expressed concerns that a sequel would cannibalize long-term sales of the first game. Then the per tweet by Gauthier Andres, who had worked on the game. I've heard and read it was the best game production in my entire life, 3 or 4 times in a single weekend while getting information on the game's development. Gauthier Andres, I think, is the reporter. One after the other, I was told it was seen as a beacon of hope to create a safe space for people that were burnt out by Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh, jeez.
The team has been disbanded by Ubisoft. So Ubisoft Montpellier is the Beyond Good and Evil team, and then they had this smaller team that made this game. That team was disbanded, whether that means people were laid off or just put back on the Beyond Good and Evil 2, or
put back
probably
on Assassin's
Creed wagon. I find this really annoying and upsetting, Jeff. The Lost Crown is easily the best game that Ubisoft has produced in years, maybe like a decade. And that team made a good game. That is the hard part. It's then up to Ubisoft to figure out how to sell it, what to sell it at, what the expectations for that should be. But if you have a team making good games, to disband that, it's stupid and it's almost kind of evil in some ways.
Yeah, it's this game came out in February, and
January is very early in the year,
and we get through summer, and it was still not on Steam until the very end, like August is when they put it on Steam. So they put it on Steam in the dead of summer. The summer sale might have already happened by then. I can't remember. And even if it was, people associate that game with being $50. They needed to come in hot with probably a little bit of a discount and give this game a real chance. Deciding weeks after it released, when it was not available on Steam, a place it absolutely needed to be to have a real chance, is negligence. It is completely faltering on your responsibility towards the people that put all this effort into making an incredible game. This is due to no fault of their own. This is all on Ubisoft, and Ubisoft is going to take away the future of this franchise, this specific fork of the franchise, because they didn't know how to handle it. And it sucks. I love this game. I adore it. It was such a ray of hope early in the year. From being oh man, Ubisoft's doing some cool stuff, and a ray of hope for Ubisoft specifically, and then to hear this new. I'm not surprised that Ubisoft's not happy with the results, but I'm that's because they beefed it, and we could tell while watching it happen.
Right, exactly. So that price was maybe high for what this was. Maybe the marketing was correct, but yeah, not being on Steam. And also, what are your expectations? Because yeah, you are making a 2D Metroidvania, and you can call that niche. I don't know if there are niche game genres at any point something can.
Yeah, video
pop
games
off
are niche, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. So you have to figure out how to reach the kind of max audience that you can, what you have, and what that should be. And I have a hard time imagining that the Lost Crown cost as much as a normal Ubisoft production, right? So again, what were the expectations here? It's just, I think, it's just a sad thing. This was an amazing team that made, still one of my games of the year, still a top contender, honestly. And it's a bummer we're not going to get more of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really good year for Metroidvanias. Every 10 feet, there's another one. I was playing Nine Souls recently. That is also incredible. And I think Prince of Persia stands above them all. And part of that clearly is going to be that you have the resources at Ubisoft to push that extra mile to make it that much better than everything else. And they did. And I appreciate that. But if you're going to do all that work and you're going to put it out for $50, I'm going to pay $50 for that game. I know it's worth it. I played it. I know it's worth $50. But you're Ubisoft. And everyone knows what you do. You put out a game for $50, and a couple weeks later, it's the $30, and they're going to wait for that. But when it's not on Steam, they forget. And they're like, okay, I'm going to wait for it to be $30 and on Steam, and you took most of the year to make that happen. And that's not on anyone. You know the behaviors. We all know how people behave when they are making these purchasing decisions, and you just looked at that, and you're like, okay. And you didn't give this game a chance.
Right. Sales for this were disappointing. Sales for Star Wars disappointing. Avatar disappointing. Skull and Bones disappointing. Like, what's the real problem here, right?
Yep.
It's not Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown's development team.
Yep. It's like they have the Prince of Persia for like probably not very expensive to make, and then all of these massive games that had to be so expensive with the 15 teams working on each and every one of them, and they have nothing in between, sort of to like add some sanity into the mix over at Ubisoft.
Well, that's a big thing with a lot of these big publishers now, is that they don't make mid-sized games anymore. And we finally got one here, and it was the best thing they made. Everything's just got to be the biggest AAA. Where they sometimes just lie and call things quadruple A. They literally did that with Skull and fucking Bones, right?
To investors,
it's like, forget about your A's.
Yeah,
right? Your A's aren't helping.
Yeah, Yves said that to investors. It's crazy.
Gosh. Of course, talk about, a sequel would cannibalize sales. You announced another Prince of Persia game like a few months after this came out, right?
Yep, like
weeks,
2 months,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're talking about there.
Yep.
Real quick, do you think people care about Banjo-Kazooie, Jeff?
Yeah, I know they do. I watched the reaction to that Smash Brothers reveal trailer. I know for a fact and have seen the fervor for Banjo-Kazooie. So yes, I do think they care.
So to be clear, there's something going around. Like, I heard Aaron Greenberg say at that Flight Simulator thing that you were at, Jeff, that people don't care about Banjo-Kazooie. Which, I think you and I both know Aaron a little bit. I'm like, that doesn't really sound like something he would say. Like,
sounds like something you might be like, yeah, well, no one cares about that. Like sarcastic. Yeah, ironic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even like trying to hide something there, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. So I don't know. But people like upset at Aaron Greenberg because of this. Chill.
Yeah. He responded to it and said, like, of course he knows how important that series is, that he grew up playing and that kind of stuff. He was a games journalist once, covered that. I would think he was working while that game was coming out. So yeah, it was a weird thing. I just said this on social media, that if someone says something at an event and it's something that sounds actionable, if it is in a statement of intent, like, we would never make a banjo, I think you can go out and tell people that. Go out and be like, he said he thinks no one cares about Banjo. Like, we are so far removed from anything that means anything already, and
right,
let alone
exactly.
the game of telephone, let alone that it's happening in a language that's not your native language. I know everyone speaks English, but let's just be, there's a lot of layers where there's a possible point of failure, and then taking that out and saying this man said that thing is so irresponsible. It's crazy. It's how irresponsible it is. It really bugged me.
Besides, we should be caring about what he thinks about Crimson Skies, right? That's what I want to know.
That's the real thing, yes. You should just ask him next time.
All right. Why don't we take a quick break? We'll come back. We got some super chats.
Yeah.
All right. Break.
me get a drink refresh real quick.
All right. Get the super chat up.
Yep, looking at them now. Now. There they are.
Almost lost Mikey on the race. He was about to leave.
Oh, no.
That was crazy.
Do you have Frozen Frenzy, Christian?
I do not have Frozen Frenzy.
I have Frozen Frenzy. That's when the NHL has every single team play on one night, which is happening tonight. I'm doing I did a big parlay for all of it because it's fun. 16 games, right? So far, everything's hit except for my team. The Red Wings are probably not going to hit their over that I needed them to hit. So it's like, of course, and they're winning though. So like, of course, they're going to win. That's going to be the reason I don't make this money. I put, it's like $2, but everything else is hit so far. So it's annoying. Mike, do you have the Frozen Frenzy?
What the hell is Jeff Grubb doing?
The what?
Stealing my bid over here. What the fuck is this?
Oh wait, were you going to come in with the Frozen?
Frenzy.
You were going to come in with the Frozen Frenzy bit?
No, the roll of paper towel clearly in the point of view of your camera. Like,
Oh, well, that's just for when I masturbate.
well, same, but you can't steal a guy's bid like that. Come on.
Oh, hell yeah.
I am trying to remember. Why is that there? I think the kid was like making
I
a
was
mess or
really-
something.
I tuned in because I came in here a little late. I was like, why the fuck is that back there?
God work. This is a good show.
Yep, real good show. I got the super chats up, ready to go.
All right, cool. All right, we're back. Before we get to the super chats, Jeff, we did compete in fantasy football this last weekend.
No, it did. It was not a competition.
I have to say, I don't know if I've ever seen
It went so bad for me. My quarterback got hurt. I think my best wide receiver got hurt. Zay Flowers. My defense shit the bed. Everything went wrong. I think I had like 64 points, if that.
Yeah, so like I think like 110 points is usually good, and you're projected for 116. You ended up with like 65 points.
Yeah.
And I had an incredible week. I had 150. It's my best weekend. I'm at the top of the league with this team that I auto drafted because I was at PAX when that happened. So I'm feeling I got that going for me.
You do have that going for it. I was like having a good streak there. I started off slow. I was 4-2, and then I ran into a brick wall and exploded. So well, I'll make a comeback next week. Made some changes.
Okay.
My other quarterback is healthy
Fire
again.
the coach.
We might have to fire the coach though. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, the Browns have a quarterback change. Oh no! Did you hear our quarterback got a baby?
I was like,
season-ending injury.
and everyone's like, "Don't cheer when he gets hurt." I'm like, maybe this one.
I was just like, you can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do.
Maybe this one. I don't feel bad.
That's definitely true. Why don't we? Excuse me. I got to open this delicious Oreo Coke Zero.
Ooh.
Why don't you get those super chats read?
Yeah, all right. Let's start here with Simon Este, who writes, Jeff, after their awesome win against the Vikings, I'm thinking about getting a Lions jersey. Which should I get and in what color?
Yeah, me too.
You definitely go with the traditional Honolulu blue. First of all, you get to say Honolulu blue, which is the color of the shirt that Mike's wearing right now. It's a fun thing to say. And it's a good looking color. You want to just stick with the traditional. There's white. You can get the all black jersey, which they're all really pretty, but go with the original Honolulu blue. And like, what should you get? I mean, I always like getting a defensive player because I think it's fun to like represent those guys. Anzalone is sort of like running all over the place right now.
That's a fun thing to say too.
He's good, fun Italian name. He's got a big, like long blonde mane. It's a great football player.
Italian lion.
All around, just got everything going for him. So Anzalone in Honolulu blue, make it happen.
Nikki Grayson just said, new super chat from Nikki. What are you going to do when they stop selling the Oreo Coke? Desync. Desync, Nikki.
From Postman Dan, if you piloted super robots, what kind of attacks would you have that you could shout out?
Oh, I like the robots that have the drills and they kind of like run. It's like they slide on their feet with the drill out, and I'd be like, Omega Drill.
I would
Omega Drill.
My hand would come off and would have a rocket on it, and it would blast at people. And I for some reason it'd be called Bucket Fist. Bucket Fist. I
love that. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to be a voice actor as much as I just want to do the barks for a fighting game character. If you're working on a fighting game and you need somebody to do some barks, Rocket Fist. This is the big one.
You just gave them all away for free, Mike. They're just
You
gonna
can
steal
use them. I just wanted
okay.
to
All right.
happen.
All right, there you go. From Allie Miracle, welcome back, PlayStation Home and Folding at Home. Yeah, hey, listen, if this has Folding at Home, I'll be even more excited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, that's like, that was what I was always expecting was ready to be disappointed by. Like, Nintendo's going to test, like, packet switch setting or something, you know? Like,
right.
Great.
Did Folding at Home ever solve cancer?
Yes.
Cool. Good
It did
news.
help, actually, yeah.
Adam GC says Mario Party Party was like a bonus Jeff Blake Club episode last week. I do love that you were like, how is he not having a good time?
I always felt like, I think I'm not falling for the bit. I'm like, this is fun. Like, playing Mario Party.
You know, Mario parties can be very miserable sometimes, and then when it's fun, it's fun. Like it's got both sides.
Guess what? We could talk a little bit about that in our what we've been playing.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah.
From Dat Boy Jerry, he writes, "Yo, dogs, have you seen the game Rogue Flight yet? Best described as a mix of Star Fox, Afterburner, and 80s anime. That sounds incredible.
Oh, those all sound like
it looks awesome.
things.
Also, RIP to the Lost Crown team. Get it together, Ubisoft. All right, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, just looking at something now. The Afterburner vibes look immediately apparent. This looks pretty sick.
I love Super Scalar. So is that what they mean by Afterburner?
It's not like that is a 3D game, but the vibe is very Afterburnery. The full release is on the 24th. There's a demo right now.
Okay, so like in 2 days already. All right, fantastic.
Yeah,
I'll go grab this thing. That sounds awesome. All right, we are at El Grug. Is Jan, the quiet hot dog man, Ochoa, okay? I think he's always looking to punish himself in new and exciting ways.
I'm getting worried about, we're just kind of letting him hurt himself and calling it a bit so he can do it. We might have to step in at some point here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have the intervention around Game of the Year for sure. But for now, tune in for his extra live stream.
Let me fucking tell you.
12 hours of the quiet man, the quiet Jan, where he is not allowed to talk. And if he does make any sounds, there will be a meter. He has to restart the game. And if someone donates $69 or more, he has to restart the game. If they do it like 4 times in a row, he's got to restart the game each time and watch the opening cutscene at least, and then restart it.
Jan lives with a dog that barks, right?
He's got to restart it a lot, yeah.
I don't think this is gonna. It's just gonna be like the first 30 minutes or hour of that game for 12 hours. I think.
So the thing is, like, if he gets to $10,000 or something like that, then the goal changes to him having to try to get on the speedrunning leaderboards for it. So
okay.
So there's a light at the end of the tunnel. All right.
Good.
From Simon from Saskatchewan. Let me make this window wider again real quick because it's going to cut off the chat.
Make it wide, baby.
There we go. All right. Simon from Saskatchewan writes, for a spooky stream, any chance Mike does RE7 in VR? You'd get a lot of views. Ever played the weird game Ed Hunter? Mike, you must know Ed Hunter.
Ed Hunter sounds familiar. Gosh, I'm like so good with spooky games now compared to what I used to be. But first off, VR makes me sick. It also makes me sweaty. I don't think I want anybody watching me play a VR game. I'm just gonna. Oh, you mean the Iron Maiden game, Ed Hunter? Right. Anyways, I'd like to play Resident Evil 7. I don't know if I want to play it in VR. Maybe we'll see someday.
I know people who swear by Resident Evil 7 in VR, but they're like, it's the scariest thing I've ever done. And I'm like, oh, I don't think my heart could handle that.
I played a little bit of it at that E3.
That's right.
Yeah. This was back when I was even more of a coward. But like the Capcom PR people had to basically hold my hand. It was terrifying. Ed Hunter, gosh, I haven't thought about Ed Hunter in a while. This is like a 1999 first-person shooter based on Iron Maiden, where it just plays songs from like the game. And it also, like the CD also just worked as a greatest hits album.
Whoa, really? So I had Red Book Audio? Sweet.
Yeah, maybe we have to get Night Dive on Ed Hunter. You were saying like, oh, what else can Night Dive do now recently? Let's get him on Ed Hunter. Let's definitely get him on Star Trek Voyager Elite Force because that shit actually
that's a good call.
Rules so hard. They and let's do Jedi Knight and Jedi Outcast and all this stuff too. But Ed Hunter, God, man, you blew my mind by reminding me about Ed Hunter.
From Fahokwa Gods, what are your favorite songs of all time? This is from the real Mariah Carey, and mine is my own music. Thank you very much. For my weekly Nintendo news, please thank me for existing. Thank you for existing.
Thank you. Thank you for existing.
What's your go-to when you hear favorite songs of all time?
I do like Iron Maiden a lot, but I almost like struggle to pick my favorite Iron Maiden songs. There's just a ton I really like there. You know that I like Crazy Heart.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you know about that. My Linkin Park kick recently has been very strong. Easier to Run has been in my rotation a ton, and of course, Numb, fantastic. I tell you what, yeah, Weezman said Weird Al. I've been listening to my Weird Al playlist a lot again recently.
You should share that playlist. I would like to.
It's a good one. It's a good. All the polkas are in there.
Yeah.
There's some hidden gems that we don't talk about enough from Weird Al. Like Girls Just Want to Have Lunch.
Yeah.
A parody of Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And Mickey, Hey Mickey, You're So Fine. There's Ricky from I Love Lucy. Hey Ricky, You're So Fine. That's a duet with a woman pretending to be Lucy.
Incredible.
That one's great. So yeah, I'll just say Weird Al in general right now. Shout outs to All About the Pentiums. That's one's such a banger.
Oh, that's really good. Yes, I like that a lot. I do like Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That's one of my favorites. I like that a lot. It's hard to.
That was on the radio recently. I'm like, yeah, and it makes me think of Captain Lou Albano. Which is great.
It's just a good song. It's hard to have a favorite because it's like I don't feel the need. First, I don't feel the need to pick one. And two, it's like, my feeling, my taste about music are not like changing all the time, but it's like, I'll run hot and heavy with Pink Floyd for a long time. And then I've not listened to Pink Floyd in like 15 years. So it could be that way. But I think, I like Parliament Funkadelic. Everybody's gonna make it this time. And Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks. There's a bunch of things that I just think are really fun that I always enjoy listening to. All right. JD Camp. Do you think Dan knows songs have metaphors? I mean, he wouldn't like offer it up like immediately, like, yes, or that he gets it. No.
Yeah, but yes, I bet if you're like, you understand symbolism, he'd be like, I guess, even though like that is a form of metaphors, right?
Yep.
So maybe it's hard to say. I don't think Dan doesn't actually know metaphors. I think he's worked himself into a bit of a shoot, thinking that metaphors are something more or less than what they are.
Right, and I think I 100% believe him that he enjoys movies and games and books and stuff on their face for the stories that they're telling, and he's not thinking about the metaphors. But that doesn't mean they're not there. I did was sitting around thinking about it a lot. I'm like, Rocky IV is about two men representing their countries, and the fight is a metaphor in the shoot, like in the reality of the story. The fight represents the battle between these countries, and they solve the Cold War with that metaphor. So one of his favorite movies is about metaphors.
Yeah, this definitely. I definitely heard him talk about like that exactly metaphor that you're talking about like U.S. versus USSR.
But he would be like, "That's not a metaphor. That's just what it is."
That's just what. Like, right. That's exactly.
A metaphor. Yes.
I know. Right. Right. But he would say that's just a story. So yeah, that would not register in his brain.
See, I was thinking about him and Rocky because like he was talking about like, oh, movies never made me sad. I oh, it's not real. And I'm like, okay, and now I want to ask him, like, okay, but like in Creed, when like Rocky Balboa had cancer, like you must have been sad when Rocky Balboa had cancer. There's no way Dan was just like, well, Rocky Balboa's not a real person. He means nothing to me. There's no way.
Yeah.
I recommend people go listen to the film and 40s they did for Rocky. It's pretty good.
Oh, there you go.
John Baum. Yeah.
I do love Rocky though.
From Big Fresh 37, I think you all overlooked Eternal Strands at the Xbox show. It's Mike Laidlaw's new game, and the combat is all about physics and combining elements. I did see the combining elements in there and thought that looked promising. We've seen stuff like that to certain degrees before, but I'm like, hey, I'll try it out. I did not know it was Mike Laidlaw, so that's pretty cool. Mike Laidlaw, he was one of the writers on Valve, right? Laidlaw, yeah, I think that's right.
This it looks like it has some Shadow of the Colossus style climbing on people too. Right. So no, I actually did think this one looked pretty neat. So yeah, want to see more of it.
Eternal Strands, just not a name that stuck in my brain for sure.
It's not even a Strand game.
Yep, weird. It's a lie. It's false advertising. Simon from Saskatchewan is back. Can you both do a playthrough of the 3DO FMV masterpiece Who Shot Johnny Rock? Such weird dialogue and weirdly hard. Also, does anyone remember the FMV X-Files game for PS1? It's unintentionally funny.
I owned Who Shot Johnny Rock.
Wow, okay.
I knew who shot Johnny Rock. Johnny Rock was a friend of mine.
It was Maggie. Maggie shot Johnny Rock, actually. Yeah.
I had a 3DO. Honestly, my favorite thing on there were these weird FMV shooter games. Like Mad Dog McCree was my favorite 3DO game. And this was basically just, Mad Dog McCree, but with gangsters. So,
right.
I loved this stuff.
I love console FMV games specifically. God,
Sewer
so
Shark
weird.
and stuff like that. Like when that Sega Genesis Mini 2 came out, it had like the CDI games, and I'm like, man, this stuff is a vibe. There's just something. Nothing is like that. So many other forms of media kind of have like an evolution and are represented in some ways. There's really not much like old FMV games. There's some new ones, but even they feel pretty different because they're kind of well made and artistic now. And it used to be schlock, like Corpse Killer, So, stuff like Who Shot Johnny Rock. I think about it all the time.
Yep. I would love to find more reasons to play these old weird console FMV games. So we'll look at a chance to pull that off. Real quick, Mike Laidlaw was the Dragon Age guy from BioWare. Mark Laidlaw is the writer. So
okay,
conflate those.
How many Laidlaws can there
it's
be?
Just we're so Laidlaw heavy, an embarrassment of Laidlaws in the video game industry. Prenny dude. Every time Nintendo fans get mad at Microsoft for buying Rare, I just laugh because, why aren't they mad at Nintendo for not buying the studio in the first place? Clearly, Nintendo didn't care about Rare. I mean, Nintendo had a controlling interest in Rare. I think they had 55%. And then they sold that to Microsoft. So
Jeff, I meant to correct you the last time they brought this up. It's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
They always had a minority stake, which is why they were never able to control Rare.
Right. Okay. I was like, I'm like, did I feel like the last time we talked about this, I looked into it, was like, that wasn't exactly the case. Okay. So, but they did have a stake in Rare. And when Microsoft came calling and said, hey, we'll give you this money for that. I think it was still right that Nintendo didn't care enough to try to fight for it, and we're happy to take the money instead of trying to fight for Rare. So, yeah. The Uncharted Wolf, Metaphor ReFantazio, is a terrible name, unrelated to the quality of the game. What's the best video game name? I nominate Fallout New Vegas and BioShock. Pong.
BioShock's pretty good, especially since it was kind of alluding to System Shock, which is funny now because how many of those people who play BioShock ever played System Shock?
That is weird, yeah.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy has a good ring to it. I think Kingdom Hearts is a great name. I like Kingdom Hearts. I think that's a fun name that almost immediately, even just that name kind of combines Final Fantasy and Disney in some way. So that one's up there for me.
Yeah, I think I just like ones that are fun to say. So Street Fighter, people in chat around, Final Fight, Doom. Yeah, those are all.
Final Fight is good.
Hexic. I liked Hexic.
There's Hectic.
All right, wait. Hexen. Yes, that's right.
You just combined the two.
I combined the two, and I always do that. But yeah, Hexen is the one I was thinking of. Yes, I like saying that.
Okay.
Hohokum. Yes. Forsaken. Portal. Sure.
Piruin.
Yeah. Kurokuroin. Yes.
Excuse me. Kurokuroin.
Yes.
Patapon. That is fun to say. Jason Vanelli. Patapon's a good name. Absolutely.
Yeah. Is Hexic the puzzle game actually?
No, Hexic was just. Wait. Oh, maybe you're right. Yes.
Hexic HD. Yes. Okay. Well, that's also fun to say. All right. Where are we at here? El Grug is back. What wrestling tag team finisher will you guys do on the Turbo Sean when you see him in person? Or will you get Dan in on it and do a trios finisher? You can do the Death Triangle on him. Yeah, whatever they do. I know it's pretty cool.
Oh, what did Death Triangle do? Poor Death Triangle, RIP. I mean, the 3D is the classic, right? Kind of makes sense. We could have Dan get the table, I guess, to get him involved.
Yeah, there we go.
What did I do to deserve this?
Man, just listen. You're just a natural heel.
That's what it is.
Okay.
See, he's not even repentant.
Nah, not at all.
Mikey O'Leary, I just heard Eye to Eye from a Goofy movie coming from the other room, and turns out there was a Dancing with the Stars segment with someone dancing to it. That's the super chat.
Yeah. That song sure has been having a bit of a comeback. It gets played in the parks now and stuff. I think there's even an ambient instrumental version of it plays that in Toontown and Disneyland now. Yeah, it turns out all the millennials fucking love a Goofy movie, so they're capitalizing hard.
I did put it on the TV for the first time in my life the other day, and couldn't really sit down to watch all of it, but I watched parts of it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this seems cute. This is nice.
I think you would like an extremely goofy movie.
I think I would love an extremely goofy movie. Yes.
Yeah, exports code.
I think that's. I was like, the plan was I'll get through this and then I'll watch extremely goofy movie. I got to see some snowboarding up in here. So next time, Poop 646 retracted their message. So that's
the funniest thing that Poop 646 could have possibly done. Good.
That's a fun thing to say as well. Poop 646 has retracted their message. So I don't know if they want to correct the record.
Did I say X Sports instead of X Games? I sound like my mom.
Well, you got to do one of the X Sports, honey? Okay.
It took me forever. I said X Sports. I was like, that wasn't right. This entire time I was thinking.
But what about all your samba lessons?
Yeah, exactly. It was samba. All the other samba.
That does it for the super chats, Mike. Back to you.
Thank you all so much. If you have any more super chats, you can send them in. We will get to them, I promise. But why don't we take a little break, then we'll talk a little bit more about this Nintendo MMO.
Importer, exporter, Sean, Jesus.
I'm pretty proud of that one.
His name was what was his name?
His name was Robert Paulson.
No, the exported importer.
Oh, Art Vandalay.
Jeff's on a tear tonight. You deserve more credit for that JR joke too, Jeff.
Thank you. I don't remember what it was, but thank you.
I got it.
I don't remember.
About Who Shot Johnny Rock.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, Poop 646 responded. All right.
There, we'll start with that when we come back real quick.
All right, Chef, do you set up the thread because people need to see?
Fuck no. Do it right
People's need to see,
I mean,
everybody.
they don't need to see.
Let me
it's just text. It's
move
not
this
images.
hockey game over there.
There's
that
no
I'm
pictures.
not
They don't really
watching.
need to see it.
There's no picture. Yeah, it's just text.
Yeah, no, I don't need to
You
see
can
it.
just
I don't
read
need to
it.
see
I guess there's a
shit.
couple pictures.
All right, cool. Let me fix this real quick. Okay, then let's just get into it.
All right, let's go.
I need to
back.
see it though. Where did I put it? All right, there we go.
All right, Jeff, we're back. Update. Poop646 has a new super chat, and it has not been redacted. Why don't you read it before that happens?
Just had a warm Lindor chocolate, and it exploded in my mouth a la Mike's fear. I agree. It's an unpleasant experience.
Thank you, Poop646. I think I know what it might have reminded me of, actually. But yes, I appreciate your solidarity there.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's part of the fun. Listen, just know what you're getting into. Embrace yourself. That's it for the super chats now, Mike. Once again, back to you.
All right, so Jeff, Nintendo MMO, I asked the community, first I want to ask you, what is it that you want most in a Nintendo MMO?
Every decision a normal MMO makes, I want them to make the opposite. I want them to be so weird. I think mostly what I want is permanence, where if something happens, you do something in the world, it leaves an indelible mark, and it's like people can cover it up, they can do other things to it, but if no one messes with it, you can come back in a year and it'll still be there, whether that's a piece of graffiti or a stick you left on the ground. I want it to be like purposelessly permanent, where it's like this doesn't even serve any sort of gameplay issues. Like this is not part of the fun core loop of the game. It's just this world exists separate from our own, and it's always and forever. I think Nintendo might be the kind of company that'd be like, that's fun. That's what a MMO should be, even though I think we've discovered over time it shouldn't be that way.
I hope that there is a little bit of that PlayStation home, maybe even Animal Crossing element, where I have some kind of space that I can customize with objects that I earn, and you should be able to win prizes. But like a little bit like that, like the original Animal Crossing, where you get the Nintendo games, you can put them in your room, right? Even if it's just Portals to NSO again, I think that'd be fun. Or getting posters of Star Tropics, things like that. Again, I want them to kind of be tied to accomplishments and things that I do in the game. I also want I want there to be grinding. When I think of MMO, I think of a game that gives me something that I can do a lot of. I don't want it to be like an Animal Crossing where it's kind of a point every day where it's like, well, I did everything. I guess I'm done now. I want this to be something I could play as I listen to an entire audiobook if I want to, right? So hopefully just, kind of has that grinder mindset in mind a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what our community said here. Dan Fiasco says, just make an online Animal Crossing that's actually fun / playable online, that or a Mario version of Fall Guys. It'll be interesting to see just how Animal Crossing like this is or isn't, because we do have Animal Crossing already.
And this is definitely not the Animal Crossing team, right? It's definitely not them.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. Delicious Coker Kohler says a mount that's booster from Mario RPG.
I want to ride that weird freak. Let's go.
That would be good. RT Bick says one of my favorite gaming experiences in the past few years was the spontaneous cooperation with strangers in Super Mario Wonder. They can expand on that and still minimize ways for players to be toxic. It might be the first MMO I ever get into.
Sure,
yeah,
I see that.
I think that would be great. Yeah, so some element of that, right? Where you don't need other players to maybe accomplish things, but they can help.
Man, how good was Wonder
in
with
some
that
weird
stuff?
way?
That stuff was so good in that game. Man, fun. We should do more races in Mario Wonder as well.
Yeah. T-Money OG says some kind of Street Pass like integration would be fun. Hopefully something like that. Oh, Ali Miracle says unironically, cat girls. You know what? Cat girls are in a lot of MMOs.
Yeah. There's no reason there shouldn't be cat girls in whatever this is.
I'm just thinking, like, man, there's a lot of like animal-like people in World of Warcraft these days. Somehow, I don't think there are cat girls in World of Warcraft. There's foxes. And they're like very like they just straight up look like foxes. They're not really cat girls.
I saw a coyote this morning. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl.
Oh, look out. Oh, people freak out when they see coyotes in Ohio. They're like, oh, everyone hide your dogs, hide the kids, the coyotes out.
Yep.
Everyone gets real upset.
We've known that they kind of live over by the Ford plant and have been over there for a long time. So everyone kind of knows they're there and no one's doing anything about it. So I don't know.
Willow Davis says toxic edgelords with their mics on. Yeah, one thing I bet this won't have is voice chat.
Yeah, Yes, I think you will be able to use the Nintendo Switch Online app on your phone if you want to have communications with other people. And it's
gonna be just stickers and like emojis.
Yeah, I hope the characters that you play as are very emotive and can like suggest the things. That'll be fun.
Symbiosis just says Super Metroid Wonder. That would be fun.
That would be incredible.
Adam Juice says Goldshire in, but Nintendo. What's Goldshire in?
I mean, it sounds like a Hobbit, like attraction at a Lord of the Rings.
Oh no! Oh, I think this is like where the World of Warcraft role players go for sexy stuff.
Oh, for fucking?
Yeah. Okay, we figured it out. Thank you, Adam Juice. I'm proud of myself for not knowing that. Eden brought the jury overlay, says the community engagement stuff they had in Splatoon 2 and 3. Yeah, that stuff's always great. And, you know, that's kind of like the one successor of Miiverse is that stuff. And there should absolutely be that, like a place where curated fan art can be integrated into the world. That would be fantastic.
Yes, I would welcome that back for sure.
Dr. Lynch says small rotating games with speedrunning and leaderboards. Oh, and friend leaderboards that actually work and are diverse. Oh, I'd like that. I like that quite a lot.
Yeah, me too. So there is like mention of like user generated content. So this could end up being a Roblox. If there's like someone makes a level, an obstacle course, and that can get picked to be like, hey, go speedrun this and we'll post the highest times. And if you win, you get a prize. And it's a couch for your PlayStation home. I would love that.
Jamie H1224 says, let me use my thousands of silver Nintendo coins on cosmetics. Yeah, that would be pretty nice, actually.
What can you use the silver for? Is it like occasionally there's stuff on My Nintendo or something?
I can't,
like
I can't even...
Wallpapers for your phone?
Yeah, it's always very useless things, or maybe icons for your profile. I can't remember. Yeah, it's like nothing.
I haven't checked in a long time, but you used to be able to actually get physical goods with it. You just have to pay shipping for it.
There's like three currencies. The gold is like the payback you get for like buying stuff. Then you can use that on the eShop, and then platinum points.
The actual cool stuff.
It's like the coolest stuff. Yeah.
Jim says, excuse me. Jim says collecting gimmick a la Pokemon shinies. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Something to grind for. Like, I love when I'm like, oh, there's a 1,000% chance that killing this enemy is going to get me something really cool. I love that shit. Give me that stuff.
Put me in a Skinner box. Absolutely.
Zool34 says friend codes. It'll be interesting to see how all of that works in here.
Yeah, you'll probably get your wish there.
Slane says Tears of the Kingdom, but an even bigger world. evolve the different mechanics of that game even more. Thousands of links moving around the world, building stuff together, solving puzzle dungeons together, lots of possibilities. That's definitely a direction you can go. I don't know how much of that I'm expecting in this project.
Right, but if that's what you want, then that's what you want.
Input name here says Connected Tomodachi Life.
That I think if they have Tomodachi Life kind of stuff in this game where it's like, go in this room and the character will do a performance based on a bunch of nonsense someone wrote into a computer, and we have a song ready to be sung in the Tomodachi language, and you could watch that and perform it with your friends, and it'll be silly, and you do that once, and then you go to the next room. That could be a lot of fun. Or here's one where you can be the newscaster for the day, and you take your me creation into that room, and now you're the newscaster. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Matt in the Rare Zenless Zone says, make it just like Ultima Online and never let the kids get anywhere because they constantly are getting PK'd. PK means player killed. Jeff, sometimes I yearn for those weird Wild West early days of MMOs, and we can't ever really go back there because it's just like we just know better now. But boy, there was something weird and magical about 1997, 1998 MMOs.
Yep, it's you're right though. It's never coming back.
No. Villain Mac has a screenshot from that Mario 128 tech demo while the Mario's on the planet toy.
It's a lot of Marios.
That would be fun if you could somehow bring that back as a multiplayer game. Astro Wolf 5 says, allow us to see other players' ghosts if we're in single player, similar to how Souls games do multiplayer.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Joycey just has a text box here that says, Earthbound Online. That would be maybe an interesting way to bring Mother back, huh?
Yeah. Oh, man, Sean just shared this, a Nintendo World Championship NES Edition trucker hat. I'm sure I don't have enough platinum points to get this. Let's see.
Something to aspire to someday.
It's 1,200 points. Let me see if I have enough. All right. Go ahead, Mike. You can keep going.
Zipsa says, I know it would never happen, but I'd want a simultaneous release on Switch and PC. Man, yeah, I agree, but if there was one game where maybe Nintendo should really consider a PC release, or maybe even a mobile release, actually. But I don't know. You think this thing has any chance of coming to other platforms?
Yeah, I think it has a chance. For some reason, I thought someone somewhere mentioned mobile, but I think that might have been incorrect. Yeah, there's a chance.
Tommy Petzel says, I want to find out who owns the Funky Barn.
Sure, yeah.
Is it not just Funky Kong?
It's about time. No, it's not Funky Kong. It's a completely different Funky Barn.
Chris 2K says, satisfying asynchronous collaboration. Even if I'm not playing in a party or at the same time as others, I want to have a feeling of community when I come into the game and go damn, the others did this. I'm going to do my part now. That's kind of the Minecraft factor, right?
Yeah, Minecraft, Nobi Boy. I think, original Animal Crossing, right? You're supposed to go in there on your GameCube, and your friend did something on the message board, and they wrote you a letter, and now they're at work, and you're playing the game, and now it's your turn to kind of reciprocate all that stuff. Yeah, I hope that they kind of play on that chord pretty hard in this game.
Stinky says PC release for sure. Always Be Clothing says a way to make other people as angry as Mario Party. There's a great screenshot of you when you were in your slouching phase during Mario Party Jamboree.
Yeah, and listen, it wasn't just me. Bailey also shoot hot about that game. She was not happy with any of us, the game, or the situation across the board. And I'm with her. I support her the way that you guys do not.
you were as dismissive of her ghost story as I was.
I did my best. I really tried hard.
We both did. I warned her. I was like, Bailey, I want you to know there's nothing you can say that's going to make me believe in ghosts.
Well, you're just so openly Christian, Mike. That's the thing.
I know. Yeah, that's what it is. Chaos Buckaroo says a strong sense of exploration. Give me lots of areas to discover. Yeah, I hope there's that. With this beacon thing, I'm curious, do we just have our beacon? Do we set it up? Is this going to be like EverQuest Next? Remember EverQuest Next?
I mean, I'm aware of EverQuest Next. If you wanted me to tell you anything about it, you're shit out of luck. Did you have a beacon there as well?
I just remember, I thought so. That was the one that was very much the UGC EverQuest. And
right.
You claimed your plot of land, and then you started building there in Minecraft stuff. And that game never made it out of alpha or beta or whatever that is.
Is it good? So, if I have one beacon and I place it down, am I going to be and I'm there early? Am I going to be stuck on the lower levels as people build up higher and higher and higher and able to place their beacons above me? And I'm going to be in the slums?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you earn other beacons. Maybe you can move your beacon. Or sell your beacon.
To be clear, I want to be in the slums. That sounds fun.
Oh, yeah, that's where you belong, right?
Yes, exactly.
Next up is Bench JC, who says, an in-game chat that is only available to use on your phones. So to type in the text box, I need to have my phone out. Yeah, so obviously no voice chat, but there's got to be some kind of chat, but maybe not.
There'll be a radial menu with options like Rocket League. Yeah.
You're right. That's what it'll be. Clink says Mario Maker, but for 3D levels, you wander around an Odyssey-style map and discover other people's creations. I mean, that would be cool someday. Again, not this, but if you want to do a kind of online Mario game, perhaps. Got a random gimmick has shown up, by the way. Daniel says Final Fantasy 14-2, but Mario is here. I tell you what, I would like it, but I'm not expecting a WoW or Final Fantasy 14 style hotbar MMO.
No. I think that is they're making the antithesis to that. I bet.
Although apparently some kind of PvP. So
yeah,
something.
I bet it'll be very Nintendo though, and not.
There will be combat.
Yes. Yeah. And there's leveling up, I guess, and gear. I'm very excited to see what this all really is.
Velocity Prime says, I would love those multiplicative systems from the Switch Zelda games to be used back and forth between players. They can have a fire that you can use for gameplay.
Sure.
I wonder if that might be, I wonder if that's the level of complexity we're maybe not going to get from the MMO project.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll have some weird stuff in there that will actually probably be complex, but I think everything they present to you will be like, here's just a basic thing that you're supposed to be doing.
Screaming Man says, I want to see Nintendo characters dressed up as other Nintendo characters, such as Mario dressed up as Vaporeon. Oh no. And then the reactions here are spelled out Bowsette, so it's getting problematic all over the place.
Yep.
Octo says, a functional friend code system, non-insane account per console limitations, Street Pass functionality. Most of all, I want a Miiverse style ability to leave messages on walls like in-world graffiti. So there's got to be some kind of way to send actual messages to your friends. I told you I was listening to a lot of audiobooks about the early days of computers and the internet. And the first thing that was actually a success on these kind of proto versions of the internet, like the ARPANET, was email, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Everybody
yeah, sure, yeah.
immediately got email and liked that because it turns out it's fun to message your friends and to log on and see what's waiting for you. Again, it's the AOL. You've got mail thing. That's what got people to keep logging on to AOL. So yeah, there's got to be some kind of, maybe that doesn't matter as much these days where messaging your friend is incredibly easy and you can just do it whenever. But still, I think you got to have that kind of feature.
Yeah, I think, Nintendo it up, zhuzh it up, make it a little bit fun and exciting. Whether it's like Animal Crossing where you can pair a package with it or something like that, just add a little bit of flair to it.
Matt Lauren says, Zelda MMO with the option to choose your appearance, whether it be Kokiri, Zora, Hylian, or Goron. I like being able to choose from multiple classes too. Maybe Sheikah technology could play a role. Yeah, I wonder if this is a success and they want to maybe explore this further, and we do get things like a Zelda MMO, and it's maybe that's more traditional, and it is here's all these races and classes we have based on Zelda games. It's kind of like World of Warcraft. It's so hard to imagine that world happening. Like you see, you kind of expect Nintendo to approach it in a weird way.
I think we get hats. I think we get Zelda hats. That's what we get.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Dr. Ryan says, just rip off WoW wholesale, but put it in Hyrule. Again, there's nothing new to make in the way an MMO plays. So I just want to do raids in the Ocarina temples and get Octorok mounts. If anybody can figure out something new to make an MMO play, maybe it's Nintendo, maybe it's EDP4.
It'll be new. I'm not saying it'll be good. I think that's what, yes, yeah.
Great. Gaiet's B says, Crystal from Star Fox Adventures.
Well, listen, she'll be hidden in there somewhere.
Lenny Astro Dick Denver says some integration with Nintendo Alarmo. Alarmo is all the rage with kids and old white dudes with podcasts. Speaking of old white dudes with podcasts, I had my first wake up call from Alarmo this morning.
Oh wow, how'd it go?
Pretty good, actually. It was very gentle, which I appreciate. It wasn't upsetting or alarming. No pun intended. And, I didn't want to do the full roulette of things. Because I never played Ring Fit Adventure. I know it's hard to look at me to imagine that, but so just doing the roulette of Mario Odyssey, though, I'm like, okay, so I don't want just one Mario Odyssey thing because that might get annoying, but I was jumbling a bunch of Mario Odyssey things. Eventually, I'm gonna do Zelda. It was good. The thing I was worried about, the black screen, standing out from the black circle that it's settled in, that actually looks much better in person.
Yeah. The screen itself is pretty dim, rightfully so, because it's going to be in your bedroom. So it's kind of got a dark tint to it overall. Yeah, I've not woken up to the Pikmin drowning yet, which I think is a good one. That sounds like fun. Dan did that. He liked that a lot.
Yeah. So far, I like it. I hope we get more because I'm kind of like,
They said there will be more.
Yeah, because I want to Smash one. I definitely want to.
Did you connect your Nintendo account?
What does that do?
I think it means eventually you will get the DLC when it releases.
I better do that. They better not charge me for the DLC.
No, I think they said it'll be free. Yeah,
it better be. I tell you what, it's also kind of a nice clock. I don't actually just have like a digital clock in my bedroom, so I do like that. Like, what time is it? I can look over to this.
I like it too. Yeah,
incredible technology.
I look over and there's Link making a fire, and there's the time. It's easy.
Ooh. Maybe I do have to try the Zelda ones. I have, just Mario walking in the back. But yeah, so far I like it a lot. Even like the user experience.
It's a good button, good dial. Yeah.
Ooh, they get this stuff, man. They get that stuff.
Yep.
They make things fun to use.
Yep.
B says, I want a Horde versus Alliance style of game. I want an all-out war between Nintendo peeps on some of the dumbest shit. I want to fight. I want to conquer and be known as the best over others. Man, World of Warcraft isn't even a Horde versus Alliance game anymore. People don't really make too many of those.
I still think, though, this could happen. I think Nintendo could have, like, temporary factions, like, each month or something like that, like Splatoon.
Yeah, well, Splatoon had, like, ketchup versus mustard. Imagine if you made that decision and then that mattered for the entire game. The whole game is just mustard versus ketchup.
Everything you did was a reflection on mustard and or ketchup.
I love it so much. Next up is Hammond of Texas says, I just want Nintendo to figure out what this internet thing is. That's the other thing. Do you take this as Nintendo like maybe getting more serious about online stuff and its technology and how nice this stuff works?
It very much feels like there was a pandemic a few years ago and they're like, man, everyone's online. We should do something. We should learn how to use that thing. And here's the game. It feels like they discovered the internet and here we are. And of course, YouTube crashed as soon as I start talking. I think this is them getting a little bit more serious about it.
Weesmith says Pokemon, bring the online versus from the single player games, just make other players visible in the running around part of the world. People have wanted a Pokemon MMO forever, and obviously that's going to be Game Freak and Pokemon Company's thing more so than just Nintendo. I mean, that's going to have to happen some point in our lives, right? A Pokemon MMO. It still feels like we're somehow far away from that. I mean, look at the state of their last single player.
Yeah, they kind of have to like get their shit together, right? They got to put out a good, solid, exciting single player game without any of the caveats, and then maybe they can go do the MMO. Although it feels like on the Legends side, they're like inching closer to that in some ways. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see what Legends ZA is like.
Yeah.
Mech says Nintendogs side activity. It would be fun if you just like had a pet in this game and it was basically just Nintendogs.
Yeah, I mean, I hope there's just like stations you go to where it's like, and here is a different Nintendo experience related to an old IP we're not doing anything with anymore. Or the user-generated content can be like, we added some assets from F-Zero. Do you guys want to make some F-Zero shit? And they can do that. I think that could be really fun.
Bayleaf Moon says, no FOMO. I'd like to play hardcore for a week or two, then leave it for a year and still be in the loop coming back. Final Fantasy 14 would be a good template to look at. And that's something like World of Warcraft still struggles a little bit with. It's like if you like kind of like leave for a couple weeks, you fall behind. So hopefully there's nothing like that in this game.
Yeah. I think that will be difficult because I think Nintendo's not thinking on those terms right now. They're like, let's just build a fun a digital wonderland. But who knows?
Lewis, who's played a video game, says Power World, but a working, not buggy mess, and totally original character designs and ideas. If only. It would be funny if the things who were playing this work and we're all like, it's kind of like Power World.
It's basically just Power World. Yeah, that would rule.
HLS says, create a character from any other franchises to fight baddies from any other franchises. Do you think it is going to be a game with like a lot of Nintendo stuff in it? Or you think it's going to be wholly original?
I think at first it's not going to have any Nintendo stuff in it. I think that if that stuff does happen, it gets slowly introduced here or there, and it's like a special event. And then eventually, if it's very successful 5 years from now, it is just like Nintendo shit everywhere. It's like the Fortnite of Nintendo stuff, which is a weird thing to say, but I think everyone knows what I mean. I think at the start, this thing's going to just be the weird thing that EPD4 is doing.
Resident Evil Cryorsis just has a gif of Daisy dabbing, which is an incredible animation here. Very well done, whoever did this. Light Bright 32 says maybe making it like a spiritual successor to Wind Waker in the fact of you're going island to island by boat with your buds. Oh, I would love Wind Waker sailing as a template for an MMO.
That'd be awesome if there was an ocean and we could do like just all like operate a boat together. Yeah. Yeah, the world is our
like
oyster with this game.
Like a Sea of Thieves?
A Sea of Thieves, yeah, a little Sea of Thieves over there. What if it's just like on a lake? Just like you have like 5 boats at a time and everyone has to wait.
Lake of Thieves?
Lake of Thieves.
Doesn't quite have the same ring.
No.
JD Camp says, make joining a clan the most archaic and convoluted process known to man. Well, there's a distinct possibility of that. That's for sure.
They might have your back.
Beefhammer also has speedrun leaderboards. Beefhammer knows a thing or two about speedrun leaderboards. Also doing very well in Astrobot. I believe still beating me. I think you're edging out Beefhammer a little bit.
Yeah, Beefhammer, if you haven't sent me a friend request yet, you should do that.
Turbo Sean says secret bases. This was a beloved feature from Pokemon games, which, I hope we have some kind of equivalent of a home base.
Yeah, PlayStation home apartment. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I thought that was my example. Yeah, Turbo Sean secret bases seems a bit more relevant than me referencing PlayStation home. And then Christian Rodriguez says Picto Chat. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That's not going to happen, but that'd be fun.
All right, good job, community.
Well done.
Good stuff there. Why don't we take one more short break and we'll wrap things up. We'll talk a little bit about our time with Mario Party. If there's any more super chats, we will get to those.
Yeah.
All right. Good shit. You want
Right,
to just bring it
get
back?
to it.
Oh.
What the hell did I just
right.
logged out? What's going on?
Tuesday 2, everybody. So hang in there.
Yep.
All right.
The two way.
I am
more thumbs up. I haven't yelled at you for a while for that, but I'm doing it.
good whenever you want to come back.
All right. So,
Oh, wait. Fucking. All right, that was a good timing for from OBS to crash. Good shit.
no worries. No worries.
Everything on my computer just went funky.
We're back.
YouTube crashed.
YouTube crash.
Yeah.
Oh my
YouTube's
god.
always
that was-
crashing lately. I don't know what's
crashing
going on with it.
too.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm back. I'm recording. Test. 1, 2, 3.
Error
Can
code
you
out
hear
of
me?
memory. I have 32 gigs of RAM and like
Hmm.
8 tabs open. The
Yeah.
fuck you mean now?
Yeah.
Why does it
It's
sound so weird, Sean?
He's on a
He's just a little quiet.
I'm on my headset.
he's on a different audio
okay.
device.
I'm big chilling playing Metaphor while listening to you.
All right.
Ah.
Yeah.
Fuck tonight.
All right, cool.
You already had a
I'm
cover
back.
for me once. It's fine. All right. We can get to it.
Get back.
All right. We're back. Jeff, we played some Mario Party Jamboree.
We did. I enjoyed myself at a certain point.
I had a good time almost the entire time. I liked that mall map we were at.
Yeah.
I liked just the aesthetics of the mall. I like that it kind of focused on shops a little bit more than normal. I like the whole collecting stamps thing going on there. There were some pretty fun mini games. I still think that steak cutting mini game is an all-timer.
Yep.
For sure. I would never choose to play it with the motion games on. I definitely don't need that. They don't work very well, and they're not necessarily all that creative. But otherwise, I had a good time. I could see myself being like, yeah, I'm just almost just as happy playing more of this as going back to Superstars, which I have now played a bunch of.
Yeah, too many shops, too much downtime between your turn. A little bit more than some of the other recent Mario parties, but
Maybe we were at the mall level, which had a lot of shops. That was the whole gimmick.
Clearly, yes. So it's an especially egregious example of that, but it seems to be the case for a lot of the maps, according to people who have played those, and we have not. I am just like, yeah, this is the Mario Party experience. There's going to be times where you start this up, and especially if you're not in the mood, which I was very tired when I started, it's like, this game is doing itself no favors right now. It is not trying to win me over. It is not being friendly to what I need it to be right now, and it was a gauntlet. And then I got some pizza and got a few stars, and of course that perked me up a little bit, and it was like, okay, now I feel like I'm in here and I have a chance.
yeah. It was funny because you were in a much better mood like the last hour.
Yes.
Of it.
Yeah. It's like eventually, like, you just accept your fate, and then like you also get used to the cadence, right? I was like, I'm used to. I know when it's going to be my turn again, so I'm not like sitting around like, when am I going to get to do something fun again? It's like, no, okay, I'll just have a little bit more patience now. So it took a bit of time. I got there eventually. I think it's a fine Mario Party. It is still going to be what Mario Party is, and
it's not going to win any new people over.
Not going to win any new people over. I don't think it's still not a great game for young kids to play with each other. Yeah, Addie's been playing it by herself recently, and That's been fine, but kids playing with each other where like one person can lose, no way. That's a bad time waiting to happen. So yeah, it's for slightly older kids and weird adults like us. And I wouldn't hate if we had another chance to go at that game and try it out some more.
I mean, I like Mario Party. Even I think it's a little surprising that like Super Mario Party sold 20 million copies.
Right.
It's like, man, seems like a lot of people don't like this, but I think enough do.
Families love
Mario
it. Yep.
in the title.
Yep. And then Mario Party Superstars is like already past like 10 or 12 million or something like that. So yeah, a lot of Mario parties have sold on Switch. So yeah, and this is going to be right there doing the same thing. This will be just as popular.
I think we have a couple more super chats to get to before we wrap up.
Yep, sure thing. Let's see here. I'm bringing those up now. We did the poop one. Dat Boy Jerry is back. Mike, have you heard Matt Mahardy's impression of you on the newest Fire Escape yet? It's pretty spot on. Can we get a quick Matt impression?
Oh no, I'm not good. That's one. I'm not good at impressions. I have a lot of comedy skills. Impressions isn't really.
I'll fight you.
My voice.
Here, let me see if I can dial it in. I like wine, and I'll fight you. No, I can't. I don't have it. It's so hard to like do another white guy.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, if anybody has a timestamp, maybe I can. I did hear about this. I do want to hear this impression of me. So if anyone has a timestamp that they can sneak in here, we're kind of wrapping up. But
yeah,
I haven't listened to the episode yet. I'm kind of terrified because I think Dan's going to talk about Metaphor Refantasio.
Oh, he does. Yeah, and it drove people insane. So, yeah. Oops. Mic.
Yeah, he has now talked about that game far more than he has played it.
Yes. Yes, many more minutes than he has played it. That's right. Apparently, also talks about cooking vegetables and how that's been a real problem for him. So just all
because he got away with that on some podcast where he's like, I just don't have time to air fry broccoli, and everyone's just like, we're not gonna pick this fight.
Yeah, that's not where we're.
I think maybe Mary and Matt did it. Damn it, Mike didn't let him get away.
Just
with
pretend you're working. Just roll with it next time you say Matt. Yeah.
Well, if he's look, I'm going to assume it's not a flattering impression of my voice he did. So he had that one coming.
I think it was on. I think it was
in.
Voicemail Dump Truck where he said he didn't have time to do vegetables.
Right, that's right.
Whatever. Dr. Ryan, sad to not hear from Chris Pratt tonight. He's one of my favorite parts of the show. Hope he wasn't grabbed by the Groupas. Oh boy, yeah.
He's probably in the recording booth dropping some lines for the next Mario.
I mean, either that or he could have got caught up at the doing his laundry and playing on the Mario arcade machine, swapping those stupas.
Falupas.
Yeah, the falupas. Next time we'll get Chris Pratt next time. It's always good to give us a little breather. It makes us miss him. We'll see him next time, I'm sure.
Exactly. All right.
That does it for the super chats, Mike.
I heard this was like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Then I wonder if I'm going to go 220 if I hear impressions.
Yeah, apparently he does my voice as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can hear it and no one else can, what do you think that's going to do for the podcast?
Yeah, it's not great. So yeah, me trying to find this isn't going to work. And it wasn't exactly at 2 hours and 20 minutes. So no live reaction to that. But once I do, I'll let you know. All right. I guess that does it, Jeff. We did it. We did another podcast. Sometimes when you record the worst podcast in history. You know what? Tonight's not one of those times.
No, we did great tonight.
Good at this.
Yeah, we crushed
fine.
that.
It was great. You said that thing in between breaks about what those paper towels were for, but people didn't pick up on that, so it's okay. So we got a Blake Club tomorrow, right?
Yeah, Lucy's back.
Lucy's back.
Lucy James Games is going to be back on the handles.
Lucy Kong.
She's got the sticks in her hand, and she is going to play more Skull Island: Rise of Kong, which is the name of that video game. Looking forward to it.
Hey, did you pre-order that Analog 3D?
I did.
Nice.
I did. I got that and the controller. Looking forward to that. Hopefully they just send me one early too. But I got one coming.
The one thing I want, I look at that controller and I look at that thing. I'm like, ooh, Mortal Kombat Trilogy would rule.
Yes, 6 face buttons. Let's go.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yes.
Astrobot Invitational's back on Friday.
And yeah, Ghost and Gremlins tomorrow.
All right, great. See y'all.
Is Donald Duck for real? From $1.2 billion. It's a is right. Sean is right.
Philosopher Frederick Nietzsche. You know.
Mother and Luigi. Bye, everybody.